You know, in the history of track and field, there's been a lot of great female long-distance runners, 800 meters and up. But this lady, boys, oh boys, she has always impressed me. She's been a high-level athlete now for about, 5-6 decades. When Zola Budd first came to major prominence, there was heavy controversy because being a South African athlete, it was a time of apartheid, and she was getting blamed for the decisions by her home government in relation to the black question, where basically blacks were being held down in South Africa. Of course, times have changed. She was 5 years too early. If she would have came around right after Nelson Mandela was released from prison, she would have been probably a multi-time Olympic gold medalist, Pan Am champion, all the good things that come with it. Now, Zola Budd, for me, again, pound for pound, one of the greatest athletes since the mid-1980s. Now, Zola Pietesi, Nia Budd, on 26 May 66, she was born. She mostly was middle distance and long distance, and also excelled in cross country. She competed at the 1984 Olympic Games for Great Britain, her adopted country, and the 92 Olympic Games, South Africa, both times in the 3,000 meters. Now, in 1984, she ran an unratified world record in the 5,000 meters. She was also a two-time winner at the World Cross Country Championships between 85 and 86. Budd's career was unusual that she mainly trained and raced barefoot, Bibi Bikila, of course. She moved with her family to South Carolina in 2008 and still competes at marathons and ultra-marathons. She volunteers as an assistant coach at Coastal Carolina University in Conway, and of course, her great time in a mile at 4:17:57 in 1985 still stands as the British record. Now again, she first came to major prominence in South Africa, achieving her heavy fame in 1984. She was born in Bloemfontein, Orange Free State, South Africa. Now at the age of 17, she broke the 5,000 with a time of 15:01:83. Since her performance took place in South Africa, then excluded from international athletics competition because of its apartheid policy, the IAAF refused to ratify Budd's time as official world record. In 85, she claimed the world record officially, while representing Great Britain, clocking in 13 seconds faster at 14:48:07. Now, the Daily Mail, a British tabloid newspaper, had persuaded Budd's father to encourage her to apply for British citizenship on the grounds that her grandfather was British, to circumvent the international sporting boycott of South Africa, so that she compete in the 84 Summer Olympics in LA. With a strong push from the Mail, British citizenship was granted in short order and she moved to Guildford. Her application arrival was controversial due to her acquiring her passport under preferential circumstances, which is commonplace now. And don't forget the time, ladies and gentlemen, the various Eastern European defectors were treated the same way. Now, groups supporting the abolition of apartheid campaigned voraciously and effectively to highlight the special treatment they received. Other applicants had to wait sometimes years to be granted citizenship, if at all. Shortly afterwards, Budd was forced to pull out of a 1,500 meters race in Crawley, Sussex, where the town council withdrew their invitation at short notice. The race was part of the inaugural event for the town's new Boobage Leisure Centre, and Mayor Alf Pegler said members of the council had expressed misgivings that the local significance of the event would be overshadowed by political connotations and anti-apartheid demonstrators. Now, she ran her first competitive race on the centre track at Central Park in Dartford, Kent, covering 3,000 meters in 9.026 seconds in a race shown live on BBC's Grandstand program. She ran in further races in Britain, including the UK title event in the 1,500, where she won in 4:04, and the 3,000 meters in the UK Olympic trials, which she won in 8:40, earning a place on the British Olympic team. In the 2,000 meters at Crystal Palace in July 84, she set a new world record of 5:33:15. Commenting during the race for BBC, the great David Coleman exclaimed, "The message will now be flashed around the world. Zola Budd is no myth." In Britain, Budd trained at Freddie's Aldershot Farming and District Athletics Club. Now, in the 84 Olympics, and this is where the big controversy came in, held in LA, the media billed the 3,000 race as a duel between Budd and world champion Mary Decker, or later Mary Decker-Slaney, and reported that a third contestant, Romania's Maricia Pușa, had set the fastest time that year, or as we call her in Canada, the Blonde Demon. Now Decker set a fast pace from the gun with Budd in close pursuit, followed by Pusia and Britain's Wendy Smith-Sly. When the pace slowed just past the midway point, Budd took the lead on the straight and ran wide of the pack around the turn. Setting the pace, she took herself, Decker, Smith-Sly, and Pusia clear of the pack. Running as a group was an unusual situation for Budd and Decker, both of whom were used to running in front and well ahead of the other competitors. Now at 1,700 meters, the first collision occurred. Decker came into contact with one of Budd's legs, knocking Budd slightly off balance. However, both women maintained their close position. But 5 strides later, at the race time of 4:58, Budd and Decker again made contact, with Budd's left foot brushing Decker's thigh, causing Budd to lose her balance and sending her to Decker's path. Decker's spike running shoe came down hard into the Budd's ankle, just above the heel, drawing blood. Videotapes later examined by Olympic officials showed Budd visibly in pain. However, Budd maintained equilibrium and kept stride. Now Decker stood on Budd, and shortly after collided with the British runner and fell spectacularly to the curb, injuring his hip. I think it was some kind of a major hip flexor or hip muscle she couldn't get up. As a result, she could not finish the race. Now, Decker was carried off the track in tears by her boyfriend, the later husband, British discus thrower Richard Slaney. Now, Budd, deeply affected by the occurrence, continued to lead for a while, but faded fast, finishing 7th. And the fans in the crowd, ladies and gentlemen, took her with boos and catcalls and basically turned on her like crazy. It wasn't her fault. It was just, group running. Her finishing time of 8:48 was well outside her best of 8:37. Now, Budd tried to apologize to Decker in a tunnel after the race, but Decker was upset and replied, "Don't bother." Pusia won with Sly second and Canada's Lynn Williams third. Now, Decker was basically saying because she did not know how to run in packs, it was her fault. But on a review, the IAAF jury found that she was not responsible for the collision. Decker had said many years after the event, "The reason I fell, some people think she tripped me deliberately. I happen to know that wasn't the case at all. Because the reason I fell is because I am and was very inexperienced in running in a pack." But right after, she put all the blame on Budd. The U.S. media put the blame on Budd, most of them. Canadian media were just glad that Lynn Williams got a medal. But the thing is, if you look at it, it's one of the most important incidents in Olympic history because it didn't show anything but negativity over the competitiveness of long track running. You look at Seb Coe, you look at Steve Ovett, different races, a lot of tension in these races. Now, in general, it is a trailing athlete's responsibility to avoid contact with the runner ahead. Whether or not Budd had sufficient control of the race to have pulled into the curve as she naturally did, was hotly disputed. This doesn't mean, track journalist Kenny Moore wrote in the aftermath, that a leader can swerve in with impunity, but at the give and take of pack running, athletes learn to make allowances. At first, the U.S. media sided with Decker, while the British press supported Budd. Personally, I saw both of them at fault, because Budd was just 17 and Decker should have known better. Anyway. Now, Budd competed internationally for the UK in 85 and 86. In February 85, she was world cross-country champion, beating the great Ingrid Christensen, and then it went on to several track defeats. The most significant of this was a rematch with Mary Decker-Slaney at Crystal Palace in July 85, in which she finished fourth, some 13 seconds behind Decker-Slaney. Now, Budd's form improved significantly after this race. However, she then went on to break the UK and Commonwealth records for the 1,500 meters in 3:59.96, the mile in 4:17.57, the 3,000 meters in 8:28.83, and the 5,000 meters 14:48.07. This last one reduced the world record by 10 seconds. She was also the victor in the European Cup 3,000 meters. Her best times in the 1,500 meters, mile, run, and 3,000 were set in races with Decker-Slaney and Marisha Pusia. Budd finished third in all races, with Decker-Slaney and Pusia consistently coming first and second respectively. Now, this was a golden time because these top three runners were on top for a number of years, and it put really female long-distance running on the map. Now, in '86, she began her defense of her world cross-country title, and also set a world indoor 3,000-meter record of 8:39.79. However, after a couple of victories in the fast early season times over 1,500 meters, 4 193 and 3,000 meters, 8:34 for 72. Her outdoor track season brought several defeats by athletes she could have beaten easily. Some in the media like me thought she was running too often and against too many tough competitors in different locations, but again, that's just par for the course. Now, she competed in both the 1,500 meter and 3,000 meter at the European Championships, but did not win a medal in either, finishing 9th and 4th respectively. It later emerged that Budd was suffering a painful leg injury for much of the season. She did not compete in 87 as she sought treatment for this. Now, in 88, Budd began to compete again with a handful of cross-country runs. However, several African nations claimed she had competed in events in South Africa and insisted she'd be suspended from competition. Budd said she only attended the event and did not compete. The IAAF upheld this charge and suspended Budd, at which point she returned to South Africa. She retired for international competition for several years, but returned in time to represent South Africa in the 92 Summer Olympics in Barcelona, competing in the 3,000. Now in 89, Budd married Mike Pieteres. The couple had 3 children, daughter Lisa and twins Azel and Mike. On her return home to South Africa, Budd began racing again. She had an excellent season in 91 and was the second fastest woman in the world over 3,000 meters. Following South Africa's readmission to international sport, she competed in the 3,000 meters again at the 92 Summer Olympics in Barcelona, but did not qualify for the final. If anything, she looked out of place because most of the runners were quite faster at the time, and I'd say the ring rust was getting to her. Now in 93, she improved by finishing 4th at the World Cross Country Championships, but would never translate this form onto the track. In 89, Budd published her autobiography, Zola, co-written with Hugh Ely. Budd remains the holder of numerous British and South African records at junior and senior levels, and still holds 2 junior world records in the mile and in 3,000 meters. Now, this is the way it goes, not more controversy. Following the allegations of her husband having an affair with former Miss South Africa Agatha Pelser, Budd, under her married name Pieteres, and her 3 children relocated to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in August of 2008. Zola's husband joined them later. She initially had a 2-year visa that allowed her to compete on the U.S. Masters circuit. Now, again, she became a volunteer with a Coastal Carolina University Chancellersville track team, and has raced in the South Carolina division of USA Track and Field, winning the women's division of the deciding half marathon during the Bilo Myrtle Beach Marathon on February 14, 2009, with a speedy time of 1:20:41. Now, Budd's children also competed on the May 2nd Orangeburg, South Carolina Festival of Roses road race. After winning the women's 12K event, she watched her daughter Lisa win the girls' 5K 12 to 19 age group at 30.17, followed by her niece Claudia at 31.36. Now on the 12th of January 2012, she announced her participation in the 2012 edition of the nearly 56-mile Comrades Ultra Marathon, which was held on June 3, 2012. She would also participate in the 2 Oceans Marathon during the Easter weekend of 2012 as she trained towards the Comrades Marathon, which she ended up finishing in 8:06:09. She was top 40 in the female division. She also earned a Bill Rowan medal. Although she planned to also run the Comrades in 2013, she withdrew due to illness. Now in June 2014, she entered the Comrades again, hoping for an overall silver medal and for a time under 7 hours 30 minutes. Budd met her time target, finishing with a clocking of 6:55:55 and earning a gold medal for a top 10 finish, as well as a gold medal for the first veteran or masters or senior finisher, while coming in as the 7th female overall, the first 6 being at least 10 years her junior. Budd dedicated the 2014 Comrades run to South African teacher Pierre Corky, held captive in Yemen by Al-Qaeda for 1 year. She was stripped her veteran gold medal, but not of her cash prize for finishing 7th overall, following accusations that she did not display a small age category tag on her running vest, in addition to the veteran designation already displayed on her running bib. Budd and her coach pointed out that the veteran gold medal and silver medal were then given to 2 runners who also did not have the small age category tag on her running vests, and announced in September 2014 that he started court proceedings against the Comrades Marathon Association to have the veteran win reinstated. And again, in March 2015, Bud won the Run Hard Columbia Marathon in a fast clocking of 3:05:27. As of July 2020, again, she's been assistant coach at Conway High School for their girls track team and the cross-country team. Now, she's not forgotten in her home country, South Africa. In South Africa today, township taxis are nicknamed Zola Bud or Zola Buds for their speed. The singer Brenda Frazee, whom Time magazine called the Madonna of the Townships in 2001, had a hit single in the 80s with her track Zola Bud. On July 20th, 2012, BBC Radio broadcast a play by Richard Monks about the political and media actions taken to bring Zola Bud to Britain with her father at the age of 17, the script implying she was unwilling and homesick. Again, very complex. The talent she had, again, pound for pound, one of the greatest Commonwealth, South African, and British athletes of all time. And for me, I'm very proud to have covered her career, but I think the media basically, and hating her because she was born in South Africa, I mean, made no sense. She was just a runner, that's all she was. And she still is, actually. So personal best, 800 meters, 2 minutes 0.9 seconds, Kroonstad, South Africa, March 84. 1,000 meters, 2:37.9, Bloemfontein, South Africa, February 7, 83. 1,500 meters, August 30th, 3:59.96 in Brussels. The mile, 4:17.57, August 21st, 85 in Zurich. 2,000 meters, again outdoor, 5:30.19, July 11th, 86 in London. 3,000 meters, 8:28.83, September 7th, 85 in Rome. The 2-mile run, 9:29.6, June 9th, 85 in London. 5,000 meters, 14:48.07, on my birthday, August 26th, 85 in London. 10,000 meters, 36:44.88, March 9, 2012 in Myrtle Beach, United States. Indoor 1,500, 4:06.87, January 25th, 86 in Gosford, England. Indoor 3,000 meters, 8:39.79, 8th of February, 86 in Gosford. International competitions. Olympic Games, 3,000 meters, 7th place, 84, LA. World Cross Country Championships, Lisbon, 5K, 1st place in 85. European Cup in Moscow, 3,000 meters, 1st place. World Cross Country Championships, 86, in Neuchâtel, Switzerland, 1st place in a 4.7K. European Championships, Stuttgart, Germany, 9th in the 1,500 or 4th in 3,000 in 86. Representing South Africa, Olympic Games, Barcelona, 25th overall in the 3,000 meters in the 92 games. World Cross Country Championships, Amorebieta, Spain, 4th place in the 6.4, and 94 World Cross Country, Budapest, Hungary, 7th in the 6.2. Marathons. London Marathon 2003 did not finish. Kloppers Marathon and Bloemfontein, South Africa, 1st place, 3:10:30. New York City Marathon, 69th in 2008. Kauai Island Marathon, Kauai Island, United States, 5th place, 2011, 3:01:51. Myrtle Beach Marathon, 2012, 3rd place, 3 hours 3 hours 14 seconds. Jacksonville Marathon, Jacksonville, United States, 2:55:39, 2012, 4th place. Charleston Marathon, Charleston, 2014, 1st place, 2:59:42. 2015 Run Hard Columbia Marathon, 1st place, 3:05:27. And 2017 Stirling Scottish Marathon in Stirling, UK, 9th place, 3:12:24. Now, will she ever compete in the Olympics ever again? Well, maybe not, because she's still one of the best masters competitors out there. But Zola Bud, to me, were people of a certain generation, like my generation. I was born a year before Zola Bud. I still see her as one of the greatest athletes I ever. She was effortless on the track, and she could, as good as she was in the 800, she was good in the 10,000 marathon. There's only a few athletes, I think, male or female, in history could be as effective in the many divisions where she was in. And she ran a lot of the European races that you don't run in North America. Again, the 2,000 meters, the 2 miles. And cross country should be in the Olympics again. If there was, obviously she would have been a champion many times over. But her biggest fault, again, not of her own, she was born in South Africa. And look what happened there. People turned against her. To use her as an example where you should have just saying somebody should make an exception. She didn't support apartheid, she just was born in it. So ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing with our Olympic Sports File columns, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. Have any comments about what your thoughts about Zola Budd's career? I think at the elite level that she's been doing, again, for 36 years, she deserves more credit and more celebration, and that's why we're doing the podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye.